once again, and welcome to another Build the Terminator, parts 107 and 108. I'm sorry my table is looking more and more chaotic every time you see it, but that's because I'm racing towards the finish line as far as the actual Terminator is concerned, because this part here is the back of the head. The reason why you can't see any parts for 108 is because that's in a huge box containing the first part of the base. I'll be working on that nice and quietly once I've had a little celebration that I've finished the Terminator. Well, sort of, because I'm sure there's some fittings that we need to put on the back of it to jam the supporting rod in that he's going to be propped up with the whole time. That being said, let's see what's in 107. Okay, well, the first thing I have to do is feel very lucky that I never chucked the battery box away, because if I had, I would have never been able to do this. I'd have been absolutely stuffed. So there's the battery box that I have kept for the last 2 years. It's got 3 AAA batteries in, and then I need to take one of these and put the thicker end, which as you can see is very obvious, into this piece here, and then do the same on the other side. Sorry, I'm as disappointed as you are, but that's as exciting as it got. Alright, then I need to fit these into the bottom of the skull, into the only hole there is, like so. There we go. I don't think that's ever going to need any glue, because that relies on tension. I'm never sure which way to do these, over or under the spring, but I'm just going to guess. I don't think it matters because I think it looks good either way, but I'm going to put the spring underneath, even though that bit's not reaching up. There we are, minor technical difficulty. What I really would have liked at this point is for these pieces to be metal, because there's not a lot of there's not a lot of room for error. If you were to turn it suddenly the wrong way, these are going to snap. That's not cool. But next, I'm not entirely sure why, but they want you to screw a black screw into that little hole there by my finger. You can just about make out, with a little rubber washer on the end. But I'm not entirely sure why, because I don't think these plastic pieces had any screw hole on them, and they've got to withstand tension as it is. So putting a screw into there is only going to make that tension even worse. But as ever, I'm sure there's a method to the madness. Okay, we've moved into artificial light, I'm afraid, because it's taken me that long to get that little screw in. Oh my god. Okay, you get the washer over the top of the end of the screw, rather, and that's obscuring your view. When you're trying to screw it in, you've got less than 1 millimeter of the end of the screw to play with to find the hole, but I got there in the end. I'm holding this tripod right now. This bit has come loose, but that's not a problem, because the end of this, down the other end there, was never glued in the first place, so I can just pop it back in once the Terminator's flipped back over onto his back. I'm extremely relieved. I was about to give up on that screw, to be honest with you, but I luckily found a way to angle the piece that was coming through the bottom of the skull so that I could then access it. So finally, that bit is complete, and now I've got to connect all these up, courtesy of my wonderful little guide there. So time to get connecting all the electronics there, which I hope are going to light up the eyes still after all this time. We'll see how that goes. You may have noticed the battery pack was missing, but obviously I'll be putting that back in right now. Alright, they're all connected, and hopefully, sorry, I'm holding the tripod again. Hopefully these are all tucked out sufficiently out of the way of these bits, which are the magnets for the helmet. Don't know where that other bit is gone. Somewhere down there. Not that bit. I don't know where that is. Anyway, It's going to be somewhere around there. So now we have 4 magnets, 2 larger ones at the top and 2 little ones at the bottom. You're going to have to trust me that these will separate. I need to put 2 large ones in the top holes, the 2 little ones in the bottom, and I need to apply a little bit of super glue to one end of the magnets to pop these in. Well, let me tell you something, I don't think those are coming out in a hurry. I've never known magnets that strong before. As soon as I separated the 2 little ones, they went zooming off and attached themselves to one of my screwdrivers. So well, those are tough. I'm not even sure they really need super glue in, but there must be a reason why they wanted you to put super glue on one end. As soon as those went in, they sunk themselves to the bottom and hopefully will be now attached with some super glue to keep them in. So now it's time for the final part. Now I don't mean the final part, I mean the final part of the Terminator itself, because I'm going to put the skull on the back. I'm not going to do this live. I will show you it on there. It's going to be magnetized by these 4, because obviously you're going to need to access the battery compartment more than once. So let me tackle this. Oh yes, there it is, the back of the skull, which means I have a finished Terminator. Can't believe it after all this time. That bit is not so flush, but I will deal with that when I can. But for now, there he is. Amazing. It's been a hell of a journey, and I've still not finished yet because I've got to pop that bit back in there. Oh, so I'm really happy with how things are right now. So I'm going to give it a little check over, then I'll move on. Okay, we've spent the best part of 2 years building a Terminator from scratch, from thin air. So what's the next logical thing that we're going to do? That's right, we're going to move straight along to something else. And I'm going to make a start on my base for my Terminator. First of all, it doesn't actually mention the fact that you need to put this somewhere on this bit. It's already got it there. We're going straight from the back of the skull to this bit already being in there. So I've got to arrange these wires so that they fit through the recess of the circuit board. I didn't realise that was actually a circuit board. Could you call that a circuit board? It's only got one LED light on it. But anyway, I guess it must be termed as a circuit board. So I guess like that is all I can think of. And next I've got to take this, which looks like a cartwheel, and plonk that over the top. You can see the holes, the 4 holes that you're aiming for. And I need to feed this wire through the middle. Well, that suddenly came very good. It suddenly clicked at the end. Right, so now I need to screw these 4 in with the little tiny silver screws that we get in the bag. Okay, and there we go. This one won't stop screwing down. It goes on and on and on forever and won't tighten up at the end, but 3 out of 4 is not bad. And now, this is quite exciting, I need to put the LED lens in. That goes in this side. Obviously it's not going to be that side because it can't go in anywhere. And I need to push it until it clicks the flat side up. See, it even says the flat side up in case you were about to put it in like that, which would be ridiculous, but that's what I love about these instructions. They tell you every single thing that you need to do. They never miss anything out. It's not clicked just yet. It may have sort of half clicked, I guess. No, I don't want to damage it by pushing it too far. Okay, and then we need to get this bit, and we need to thread this bit, the wire, through the end of this. I guess we're going all the way out. And then you need to slot this I think the wire must go underneath. In the photos they show it on the underneath, so actually we can't do that like that. Basically the aim is to keep this wire out the way of this hole there, because what we're doing then is putting a tiny little nut in the biggest recess, which is not that side, is that side. It's going to pop in there nicely, and then you're securing that with one of these long thin screws. Sorry about my fingers, that's where I put my fingers in super glue. Lovely, I've got to wait for that to dry and then peel it off. Always a fun experience. Yes, there we go. Obviously you've got to keep this wire clear when you screw this in, because I've got a feeling, I'm no electrician here, but I've got a feeling that if you were to skewer that wire there with the screw, you're not going to have a working light. But there we have it. My first of 4 spotlights on my Terminator for the base. So that was, all of that was 107. And we've got one more to go. Look at that picture there. This looks like he's on some weighing scales. That's not very Terminatory. Here is the first part of my base, which is a little bit disappointing, I have to say, because it just looks like they made next to no effort to get this to look realistic. Like some realistic waste ground. They just thought, oh, we're finished now, let's just chuck the base in after. So not the most impressive of design. But anyway, it's got to stand on something, so it's going to be this. First thing I need to do is find a little hole there, and then poke my spotlight through. Now I have to match up the edges. You can see the gaps in the side there to the notches that you can see there. So let's get that through. There we go, and it says once it's in it can be rotated and tilted, a few degrees rotation, so it's only a little bit, and you can tilt it up and down like so. That looks nice. Next, I've got to take the biggest rock. These are actually quite heavy. Do you think they're made out of real rocks? Okay then, and you need to match up the peg there. Is that really a peg? The sticky out bit into the recess there, and this needs gluing into place, and they advise that you glue this bit and not inside that bit. I don't know why, I don't really know what difference that would make, but anyway, I'm going to glue and then hold it in place for an indeterminate amount of time until it dries. Okay, there's big rock in place, and now it's time for little rock. What a quaint little area this is going to be. You have to do the same again. Glue around that sticky out bit and then sock it into the base like so. So time to get gluing, and there we have it. I have to confess, this base is starting to grow on me. I wasn't impressed when I first saw it, but putting these rocks on, I like the way they look, and I can't wait to see the spotlight on. That was my first piece of the base. So that brings us to the end of this very momentous video. We've finished the Terminator. I'm going to start it on my base. That was 107 and 108. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for joining me back here. Thank you for all your support. And I will see you next time.